and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe, right here in Lagos. And Austin will join me maybe moments later. I don't know if he's on his way to Marrakech or he's still in Fez. He'll join me much later on the show tonight. Yes, the quarterfinals almost set. So we're waiting for the game between Côte d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso to know the team that will join the 7 teams already qualified for the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Yes, Yan Diomande and Amad Diallo are the 2 guys that ensure that defending champions Côte d'Ivoire 2 goes up at halftime against Burkina Faso. Will they be the one to play AJ? Because Nigeria and Algeria will be meeting again in the quarterfinals. Remember what happened in 2019? Yes, we won't forget about that. But that's what is happening at the Africa Cup of Nations. And of course, our focus today is obviously on that. You're going to be hearing from the coach, Eric Tichel, and of course, from the man of the match, Ademola Lookman, talking about after the Nigeria game against Mozambique that the Super Eagles were clinical, and for the first time since this tournament started, they did not concede a goal. So we will be taking a look at that, and of course you'll be hearing from those responsible for that resounding victory, because so far the Africa Cup of Nations, only Nigeria scored 4 goals, and of course they scored 12 in all in 4 matches. That's remarkable, you would say. And of course, yes, Africa Cup of Nations getting our attention. We'll be joined by analysts to actually delve into that game and a little bit of this Victor Osimhen altercation, or rather, is it altercation on tantrums that he was throwing on the field of play? But the news is he's not leaving the camp to Galatasaray. Yes, a lot of news has been happening since morning, but that's really not what's going on in camp. The camp is actually well maintained, and reports reaching us from Morocco, from our people over there, saying that, look, the story that he's leaving camp, that's not true. You know, people tend to just carry stories that they have not verified. So authoritatively, we can tell you that, yes, he's not leaving the camp. He's with the team, and of course, the team with training, they are together, and the only issues have been resolved. So we'll talk about that on the show tonight. A coach will be joining us to actually tell us how do you manage big players who tends to so passionate that they can't help it or vent their anger on their teammates. We'll talk about that on the show. And of course, we'll go to England, the English Premier League, what's currently going on. Manchester United, yes, we know the coach, Ruben Amorim, has been coming here. He has been waiting to be sacked, but he's finally fired. And of course, we'll be talking about the man who is temporarily the caretaker who is in charge of the game for Wednesday, Darren Fletcher, and of course talk about his record at Manchester United. That's Ruben Amorim. We'll also be talking about the coach that will be coaching Chelsea, Rosenior, which everyone has been talking about. He's 41 years old, not much experience, but that's the man Chelsea is actually going for. Is he really a yes man or someone that can put Chelsea together to contest for title again? Yes, this will definitely be our focus on the show tonight. But first, we're obviously going to be starting with Africa Cup of Nations. And after this time, I welcome my guest. All right, yes, Bimbo Adeola is joining me on the show tonight. He's a seasoned broadcaster. I don't know how do I even introduce him? Yes, Bimbo Adeola is joining me on the show tonight. Bimbo, what was the last time, like 10 years? I don't know. Welcome to Sport Tonight.
It's so good to join you, Cici, and it's been a long time, but I'm so excited to be on Sports Tonight on Channels Television.
Thank you. All right, let's start off with what actually went down last night at in Fez, the Super Eagles of Nigeria taking out Mozambique. Yes, people expected Nigeria to win, but the scoreline, people were surprised about the fact that we beat Mozambique by 4 goals to nothing. But I felt, it's Mozambique. Why are we celebrating so much? I mean, this is a team we can actually take to the cleaners if maybe the Eagles have qualified for the World Cup. I'm thinking maybe because of what happened at the World Cup, like a backlash that is coming out from that. Just maybe that's why people are surprised that the Eagles, who scored 4 goals without conceding any. What are you taking away from the game against Mozambique last night?
Yeah, we couldn't make it to the World Cup because the boys, the technical crew, and the NFF did us in, so to say. And if you recall, the World Cup qualifiers, we had teams like Zimbabwe, we had teams like Rwanda. Unfortunately, we can't go past them to make it to the FIFA World Cup. So our backs to the wall, and the boys needed to prove a point this time that if we couldn't make it to the Worlds, we should be able to conquer the continent of Africa. And they went full throttle against Mozambique, slamming them 4-0. Don't forget, the team keeps improving at the Africa Cup of Nations, which is a very, very good sign. That was what we did not see in the World Cup qualifiers. And another good sign is that we won all our group games, and that's really very good, even though the devil is in the details. The last time, each time Nigeria wins the group game at the African Nations Cup, we hardly win the Africa Cup of Nations. We hope that will be killed for now, and of course, we will continue to do well. Against Mozambique, they went full throttle from the rear to the midfield to the attack. We saw business-minded players who were ready to banish the ghost of not making it to the FIFA World Cup to make Nigerians happy at the African Cup of Nations. So it was a good game, barring whatever happened between Osimhen and the team. That was indeed a very, very sorry sight to see on television. Millions watching from Africa, from everywhere else in the world, saw a world-class player, one of the best strikers in world football right now, take himself to the cleaners. Yeah. We hope he rights the wrong, and the team will bounce back against Algeria on Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully they can do that, because from that performance, people already tipping it. Before, when going into the Africa Cup of Nations, we had favorites: Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Morocco, Algeria, even Cameroon. You know, these were the teams that people were saying, just a pundit saying they are the ones favorite. But right now, I mean, Super Eagles is #1 when it comes to winning the Africa Cup of Nations. Well, if they can win it for the 4th time, that would be great. But then, from what you watched so far, 4 games they've played, 12 goals they've scored, you think they can actually go far?
They could. Like I said, they disappointed even themselves by not making it through to the World Cup, even in the playoffs. They disappointed themselves. So we are seeing a rejuvenated side. We are seeing a side who is awake and alive to its responsibility. We are seeing a bunch of players who perhaps told themselves even before the tournament started, hey, guys, we messed up not making it to the World Cup. Now let's show Africa what we're capable of doing. And that's what we're seeing. Osimhen banging in the goals. Ademola Lookman scoring, providing assists. Akko doing what it needs to be done. And of course, the new captain of the team, Wilfred Ndidi, rallying the troops so that things will go well. And of course, the coach too is showing everyone that he's got the tactical and technical acumen to really bring these boys up. So we're happy. So far, so good. But hey, Cecilia, the real game begins now. When you get to the knockout stage, when you get to the knockout phase, that's when the boys are separated from the men. And we hope these boys will stand their ground. They'll show the world that indeed we are men. They'll show Nigerians that it was a mistake not making it to the FIFA World Cup. We want to conquer Africa for the 4th time. This is something we can do. We have a repertoire of awesome talents in the team from every league in the world. These guys are talents. They are stars, and they have the opportunity to prove us wrong right now, because a lot of Nigerians before the tournament wrote them off. Yeah. They couldn't beat Minos in the World Cup qualifiers. How will they be able to do it at the African Nations Cup? Now they are doing it. Now we have to believe in our boys. Again, you don't throw away the baby and the bath water. The Super Eagles is our #1 football brand. We have to back them, and the boys too must deliver. And they have said they are in this World Cup, the African Nations Cup, to deliver, to show naysayers that they are still a big deal in Africa, and we hope they prove it.
I hope they can prove it. Let's take a listen to the coach of the team, Eric Chell, talking after that resounding victory against Mozambique.
The victory with 4 goals, but the reality, we did nothing. We just won 1 game, and if we want to be ambitious, we have to continue to improve and to keep this quality in the pitch. And you know, positive dynamic, it's very easy to come at a negative dynamic, but it's very hard to go to the positive dynamic. So my job now is to keep the player very focused on their training session and their behavior. There is some player who they smell the football. This guy he has a big IQ of the football. He see the game before the other player, and technically, when he puts some movement, and technically he's very good. So since the AFCON start, we see this guy is a very good player. The most important now is to do that every game after every game. Alex has to stay focused, to continue to work, to continue to try be better than the last game. This is the question, but I'm very proud of him. If you want to win a tournament, you have to be strong in defense. But don't forget, Ola is not here, William Trostekong is not here, and Benjamin Frederick is not here. So we work every day to try to improve in our defense, to try to improve our midfielder, and to try to improve our forward. So, like I said, we can improve again, and we continue to work.
Yeah, trying to improve the game, which is important. Abimbo, he talked about Alex Iwobi here, his IQ when it comes to football, and also mentioned behavior of the team. They need to stay focused and have good attitude towards play. What are you taking away from this, especially the aspect of Alex Iwobi and also behavior? I don't know if he was trying to refer to what happened, on the field, when Osimhen was trying to be the bigger man, telling everyone, you have to play, you have to pass the ball, you have to score more goals.
Yeah, two things. Alex Iwobi on one side and Osimhen and the others on the other side. Alex Iwobi has shown us in this Nations Cup that is a different kind of beast on the continent of Africa. The way he has bossed the midfield has been awesome. The way he has distributed the ball has been wonderful too. And of course, he's got some guys behind him, Wilfred Ndidi and Frank Onyeka, who break play, field the guys in the midfield before they surge forward. And Alex Iwobi has been awesome so far in the tournament, and we hope he continues in that light. Now, let's go to the part B. Victor Osimhen, we know he's passionate. We know he has a burst of energy. We know he has this champion spirit in him. We know he wants to win. He wants to score great goals. It's right inside of him. We know. But at times, some things bring negative energy. And that's what we don't want in the Super Eagles right now. And that was what happened yesterday. Yes, you have a right to remonstrate when you're free and the ball was supposed to be passed to you. You have a right to be angry when you think you were in the right position to nick the ball into the net. Of course you've got it, but there are ways to go about it. You're a world star. You're one of the best strikers in the world. You just don't go out there and pick on your teammates. If not even when your captain, Wilfred Ndidi, was trying to calm you down. Come on, it's not done that way. It's never done that way. And of course, he should know that this is not the time to do it. Nigerians have still not healed from the disappointment of not making it to the World Cup. We don't need this right now, and he has to be very careful. His minders need to talk to him. He needs to work on himself from the inside out. Recall, he insulted Victor Nosari-Ikpeba. Perhaps a lot of Nigerians forgot. That was an African Footballer of the Year. That was a man who even the Prince of Monaco in Monte Carlo in France was jealous of when he was nicknamed the Prince of Monaco when he was doing very well for AS Monaco. He insulted Finidi George, by far one of our best players. These are heroes for Nigeria, Victor Ikpeba and Finidi George. And I recall in that game against Zimbabwe, immediately after the game, recall what happened betwing him and Victor Boniface. Yes. Boniface was trying to calm him down. He could not be held by anybody. He was very angry. These things are not good. Like they always say, the dictum, attitude determines your altitude. It needs to be very, very careful. Attitudinal change is very, very important and needed to read what Nigerians were saying on social media, from X to Instagram to Facebook yesterday. It doesn't speak well. Yeah. He's one of our heroes right now. We love him so much, but he needs to work on himself. I want to believe all those things have been laid to rest right now, and the boys are ready for Saturday. But beyond Saturday, beyond the Super Eagles, he needs to work on himself. The world is watching. You won't believe it, Cecilia. The Africa Cup of Nations is being streamed across the world right now. It's not just about Africa. A lot of people are watching, and Victor Osimhen is supposed to be a role model to a lot of upcoming players. They're looking up to him, not just in Nigeria. Italy became a cult figure in Napoli, not just in Napoli, but in Italy in itself. In the entire Europe, is one of the best goal scorers, the highest goal scorers in the UEFA Champions League right now. In Galatasaray, he's seen as a god with a small g. A lot of people are looking up to him, and he needs to tell or show the boys in Olushoshu in Oregon, where he grew up from, that he's a good star, he's a hero, and he needs to work on himself.
Yeah, I think that emotional intelligence is actually something that he needs to learn, and I hope he will learn sooner rather than later, because as you mentioned, the reports from social media, I mean, the story that he has even left camp, he's going back to Turkey, and so many negative stories. We should have been celebrating that victory, and of course anticipating the game that happened tonight, which was Algeria and of course DR Congo. And I'm happy that the whole story has died down. I mean, there's reports from camp that everything has been sorted, and I love the way that when Ndidi was asked the question, he said, no, there's nothing going on. And of course, Demola Lookman said, no, it's been sorted. There's really no issue about that. I hope that emotional intelligence is able to pick that up and learn something from what happened in the game last night, because of the backlash it's actually generating from there. Let's take a listen to the man of the match, Ademola Lookman, who has scored 3 goals so far at the Africa Cup of Nations. In all, I mean, he's involved in 7 but 7, 7, about 4 assists and 3 goals.
Personally, just thinking about the team winning. Now we're in the quarterfinals, so our next opponent is going to be another strong team. Today we scored 4 goals, another big performance from the team. So that's all I care about. It's not easy for the team to put on a performance like today. We played 3 matches, 3 wins, and obviously the expectation, is big for us. But today we roll up our sleeves and we score 4 goals, and we respond like we have. So for us to keep the same mentality and keep the same drive, and hopefully we'll have the whole of Morocco supporting us as well. I don't really think that's really important. I think the team won 4-0. Vic is our #1 guy. Everybody knows this. The top striker, top player. So all of the rest of that is not really important.
You're talking about Akko Adams here, his contribution to the team. Like, since he came into the team, there's just a different setup when it comes to attacking in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Let's just take a look at the games that were played earlier today. We'll take a look at all the results, but particularly we're focusing on the game between Algeria and, of course, DR Congo. Now, let's start off with confirmed quarterfinal fixture. This is the game ended 1-0. I mean, that goal was scored 119 minutes, just a minute before the end of the extra 30 minutes extra time that was added to the game. Algeria, of course, and Nigeria will be facing each other. So the confirmed quarterfinal fixtures is going to be played on Friday and Saturday, and for Friday, Mali will face Senegal, Cameroon and Morocco will be in action that same day. And on Saturday, Nigeria, Algeria and Nigeria. And of course, later, you're going to be having either Burkina Faso joining Egypt, or Cote d'Ivoire already 2 goals up against Cote d'Ivoire up against maybe Egypt. Who knows what's going to happen in that one. Defending champions meeting the most successful team in the Africa Cup of Nations. Talking about Egypt, who have won it 7 times. We're going to go on a break. When we come back, Sport Tonight will continue. Of course, we'll delve into the game, how Algeria were able to wait till the final minutes of the extra time to beat DR Congo. Right now, let's talk about the Algeria game, Bimbo. I mean, it was that substitute. Adil Bobina, extra time. I mean, it was 119 minutes. That's when he was able to get that goal. It was a substitute coming into it and get that. What Riyad Mahrez couldn't do at 90 minutes, this guy came on the field. He ensured that they wouldn't go the way of Tunisia. But right now, they will be facing Nigeria on Saturday. But the Algerians, the way they set up, the way they play, I mean, do they have a chance against Nigeria, really? Because I thought DR Congo, yes, DR Congo gave them everything you can think of. Remember, they were the ones that were responsible for Nigeria not going into the continental playoffs for the World Cup.
Well, I was hoping that Nigeria will take a pound of flesh against the Congolese team that they will beat Algeria and make it to the quarterfinals. But then, football, that's why we love the game. That's why we yearn for action. That's why we don't bat an eyelid when a football game is ongoing. You won't believe it. My son and I were actually discussing this, and it was like, oh, Dad, it was going to end in a penalty shootout. And oh, blimey, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, did you see that goal? It was made out of space. Beautiful, fantastic Aït-Nouri goal. Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I'm very sure the bench of the Congolese team were already preparing for the extra time before lightning struck, and they were just knocked off their chairs, and at the end of the day, they're out. This is an Algerian team that a lot of people are not really given the chance to make it this far. But then, don't forget, they didn't lose any game in the group stage, just like Nigeria. So both teams are equally matched for the quarterfinals. We need to be very, very careful. Yes, we know Riyad Mahrez has been there. He was there. Remember that last-minute free kick in 2019 in the land of the Pharaohs? That's Egypt, that knocked us out of the Africa Cup of Nations. We won't forget that in a hurry. It's not just about Riyad Mahrez right now. It's about a team that is compact, a team that has vision, a team that is ready to do well in the Nations Cup. So we've got, in fact, it's going to be very, very interesting. It will make for an interesting game on Saturday, Nigeria versus Algeria. We've got a big match on our hands on Saturday, Cecilia.
Obviously, the two teams that actually had 100% record at the group stage, and they know how to score goals. If there's anything, that's why I was surprised that it took them extra 30 minutes for them to be able to take out DR Congo, who were anticipating a rematch against the Super Eagles of Nigeria, not knowing they would not even go past the round of 16. Now, when Ademola Lookman was talking, he mentioned Akko Adams, the role he has been playing, how versatile he is, you know, whether as a forward or playing behind his striker. I mean, he has really kind of add something that we haven't seen in a long while. What do you think about him, really? What role will he play in the game against Algeria? Especially that three front line where you're having Lookman, you have Osimhen, and you have Akko Adams.
It's very good. It's an opportunity for another Nigerian to show the world that, okay, what Lookman and Osimhen can do, I can also complement them. It's looking as like an X factor in the Super Eagles right now. We've always known Lookman, the immediate past Africa Footballer of the Year. Osimhen, Africa Footballer of the Year before Ademola Lookman. But out of the blues came another star, Akko Adams, who is doing very well. He holds up play even as a striker. He's very good. He has the build. He could hold up all the ball. He could strike very. Check out the last goal against the last opponent Nigeria played against Zimbabwe. That was a wonderful goal. That was thunderous, and that's what we need. If Osimhen could be very good with his head, if Ademola Lookman could hold the ball, dazzle the defense, and even score, we've got somebody who could shoot, and he shot very well. He did very well. His first goal at Africa Cup of Nations is a breath of fresh air for Nigeria. We now know that if they are not doing well on their day, Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen, there's another Nigerian. And hey, another positive is that it's not well known to most defenders and others playing football. Now, he could come from behind to wreak havoc on any team. So it's not just about Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman, there's also an Akko Adams. And this is a signal to the world that Nigeria brings talents one by the dozen. Like Coach Fani Amu, we call him transformer of talents. Nigeria should be called the land of talents. We've got them in abundance. All we need is somebody to mold these talents to finished products to stun the world. And that's why, Cecilia, we can't but still feel sad and bad and aggrieved that we couldn't go past Congo Democratic Republic and make it to the intercontinental playoffs for the FIFA World Cup. We've got the talents. We've got the guys. We've got good players everywhere across the world. That's why we're still sad. Aqua Adams, a breath of fresh air. The X factor in the Super Eagles, and we hope it continues to show up anytime we're playing.
Yeah, and do you think, you said someone that can actually mold the team. The coach we have right now, Coach Eric Schell, is he the one that can actually do this? He's doing a good job so far, really. We may not have qualified for the World Cup, but he didn't start the campaign. He met halfway.
Yeah, he's showing the world, he's showing Nigerians that it's good for it. I'll tell you, once he takes out Algeria in the quarterfinals, the Nigeria Football Federation should give him a new deal. He met a ragtag team, a team that lost focus, a team that was not even there, not in the scheme of things again, to qualify for the World Cup. And he played until the last. We should give him some credit. He has done very, very well. And I love his composure on the sidelines. He's always cool, calm, and collected. And he has a way of dishing out instructions. Even after the unsavory happening yesterday, when he was interviewed, see the way he parried the question. Yeah. That is a manager going beyond who a coach should be. A manager manages talents, and that's what he's doing right now. He's managing this crop of talents that Nigeria has, and of course, he should be able, because he's done it so far, to mold these boys to become world beaters. Everything was already in tatters before he took over. But right now, we are seeing a breath of fresh air from the midfield to the, from the defense, the midfield to the attack. We are seeing a team who yearns for victory. We're seeing a team who is hungry to achieve, and that's what we want. When was the last time we scored 4 goals in the African Nations Cup? It could have been 6 against Mozambique. Yeah. Perhaps that was why Osimhen was angry. But then we are seeing the guys doing well. Kudos to the coach. Because when a team is not doing well, it falls back on the coach. You can ask coaches of Chelsea and Manchester United and even Celtic Glasgow. But right now the team is doing well. We need to give kudos to Eric Schell. And we hope he continues to do well. We hope tactically, the team continues to improve and the boys always play to instruction so that at the end of the day, it's going to be glory to Nigeria. Yeah. And that's what we always want.
He mentioned something I just remember he mentioned something during that press conference when he said that, they've conceded goals, yes, but they've scored goals. But then we should remember that 3 key defenders are missing. Olaino is not here. You have Benjamin Fredericks, obviously, is not here. And William Troost-Ekong, who retired just weeks to the commencement of the Africa Cup of Nations. In that defense line, you think maybe that's the reason we considered some very, you could say, maybe silly goals we considered at that group stage, really. Maybe if we had them, we have something different. Maybe we could have kept a clean sheet. And keeping a clean sheet against Mozambique, is it that he has finally, or maybe the team has finally come together and say, oh, you know what, we need to protect, our backline, knowing that, well, we have a goalkeeper who came into this tournament, was supposed to do undergo surgery according to he's a club coach, but then he's actually showing that, yes, even with injury and him not fully 100% fit, he can actually, be our safest hands.
It shows, again, that we've got talents in Nigeria, a repertoire of talents, and that's what he's showing. We've got Olaino, we've got William Troost-Ekong, we've got Benjamin Fredericks. Benjamin just broke into the team, and all of a sudden, everyone is hailing him because he's doing very well. But then we've got a group of defenders who have played overtime, who understood themselves, who could play with themselves even with eyes closed. And now we have kind of a different setup in the defense. Of course, we don't expect them to understand themselves overnight. And perhaps that was why we considered some cheeky goals, even against Mozambique. Yeah. I'll tell you this, Cecilia, it wasn't just Onky Dory. against Mozambique that we didn't see some mistakes. We could have been punished, perhaps, if we played a quality opposition. But Mozambique, yes, you could just say, yeah, it was Mozambique, and we could just roll over the Mozambicans. Once or twice, we saw what happened in that defense, mistakes between Calvin Bassey and others. But then these things happen, especially when you have a new sets of players coming into the squad. But as time goes on, the boys will understand themselves more. They will listen to the coach more. They would appreciate whatever is happening in the defensive midfield position more. They will communicate more. And at the end of the day, we will have a good bunch. So kudos to the guys. So far, so good. And it shows improvement. Not to have considered against the Mozambicans showed improvement. They were very jittery against Tunisia. At some point, we screamed. 3-0, and all of a sudden it was 3-2. It was almost a draw against Tunisia, but they hold their nerves. And here we are in the quarterfinals. They kept a clean sheet against Mozambique, a sign of good things to come, and we hope they keep doing that, understanding themselves more, communicating more, and of course, bringing to bear whatever was practiced behind closed doors when nobody was there. So kudos to the team, but then the real deal will be on Saturday against the Algerians. These guys, like we say in Nigeria, they're not there yet to complete.
So you're talking about Saturday fixture. It could just be Egypt and defending champions cut the bar, because Yan Diomande and Amad Diallo's goals in the first half is still Cote d'Ivoire still leading by 2-0 against Burkina Faso. So after this timeout, of course, we'll talk about what Bimbo mentioned earlier, the two managers that have been fired, and of course, the ones that are coming in, talking about Manchester United and Chelsea. So Chelsea got a new coach, Rosenior. The name has been flying, but no one actually expected that they will appoint him because of his record. I'm going to go to the screen right now and talk about the record. Now, this is the man. He's 41 years old, not much experience, but so far, this is what he has done. His career profile: Strasbourg head coach since July 2024, and he led Strasbourg to 7th in Ligue 1 last season. And Strasbourg are also currently 7th in Ligue 1 and top of the Conference League. That's the only advantage at the moment, top of the Conference League. But then on the league table, they are 7th in French League. And he was the head coach of Hull City from 2022 to 2024. And he finished 7th in 2023. And of course, and 2023 and 2024 championship, that's where he finished. And he was also interim manager of Derby County from June to September 2022. That was his first managerial appointment. He earned 442 career appearances. That's the appearances he made for 7 different clubs from 2022 to 2018. He, during his time, he was promoted. While he was playing, was promoted to the Premier League and relegated from Premier League twice in his playing career. So when you look at these statistics, you could say, okay, right, when you're looking at a club like Chelsea, is it really the right fit? And people have been saying, most pundits has been saying, just maybe he's a yes man. Chelsea needs a manager they can talk to, they can manage themselves, that won't talk back during the transfer windows or when results are not coming their way. Bimbo, I'm going to throw this question to you. Do you think this man right here, the 41-year-old, is it the right fit for Chelsea?
Well, they went for Maresca, and I recall when he was appointed, I said he was a championship coach. He was a Leicester coach. Now they are going for another lightweight. One would imagine that a club like Chelsea, with what Roman Abramovich has done and the likes of Jose Mourinho has done, they shouldn't be going for a paperweight like Rosenior. But then people will say, perhaps the money is not flowing like it used to flow when Roman was there, and they just have to go for anyone in the market. And ask yourself, how many coaches are really out of jobs that they can go for? To me, it's really disintegration, so to say. But you never consider never in football. The guy may just come around to Stamford Bridge, turn things around. But I doubt it, Cecilia. I really, really doubt it. Again, like you say, in Nigerian parlance, could be from fry pan to fire.
All right, he has a reason for joining Chelsea. I mean, people have been asking, why will you leave a place where you're comfortable and coming to England to coach? But let's take a listen to him. He's got his reasons for coming to Chelsea. I mean, they are the winners of the very first FIFA Club World Cup, the one that had 48 clubs.
Just Chelsea. I've had interest from many clubs, Champions League clubs, which I've always been open and honest with Mark. I've always been open and honest with our ownership about. But there are certain moments in your life that you have a decision to make that you cannot say no to. This, for me, is a club that I will love for the rest of my life, that I will want to do well for the rest of my life. But this opportunity for me is something that I cannot turn down at this moment in my life, for many reasons. One, it's an unbelievable opportunity, an unbelievable club who are Club World Cup champions with an incredible squad, an incredible fan base. Secondly, it means I can go home and see my kids. I'm away from my children. I've missed them, and I wanted to make the sacrifice of not seeing them worth it with the success that we have here. So there are many reasons. I don't think anyone can question how hard I've worked for the club, my integrity in the way that I've worked for this club. I don't think anyone can really question the decision I've made to move on with my career.
I mean, but will he regret this moment, really? Because coming to Chelsea, the position, the kind of pressure that comes with it.
Well, a lot of pressure, and I hope he's ready for the pressure. And I hope the directors of Chelsea are ready for the pressure from the fans. This guy is just coming to Chelsea, to my mind, to enrich his CV. You could hear what he said.
Yeah.
The club that won the World Club trophy, a club that has a lot of pedigree. And you ask yourself, where is this guy coming from? Where is the pedigree? This is not the Chelsea we used to know.
Yeah.
This is not the group of directors we used to know. They will always go for the best. But maybe he took a nosedive from the Maresca era, and now we're seeing Rosenior era. Is it going to get bad from this stage? We'll wait to see what will happen. But again, the guy must be ready for the pressure. Chelsea fans are not smiling right now. They are not happy with what is going on. And for heaven's sake, I wonder why the directors went for him. And I doubt if they will be happy at the end of the season. But again, you never can tell. The boys may just prove everyone wrong. And this guy may just catalyze whatever is happening in Chelsea right now and make Chelsea fans, the directors, and everyone around the club smile at the end of the day. But Cecilia, truthfully, I don't see anything really massive happening with the signing of this paperweight.
Yeah, paperweight. I think that's what I like about it, paperweight. All right, talking about another club who is also, well, in the same situation at the moment, Manchester United. We're going to take a look at the abject record. That's the way my producer tagged it. That's not from me, it's from the producer. He said it's abject record at Manchester United. We'll look at the record first, and of course, I'll talk about how much he will be given. I mean, he's earning his payday, $10 million. You know what that means? Now, let's take a look at the games he has played. 47 games he was in charge. He won just 15, the draws 13, losses 19. And of course, the win percentage happens to be 31.9%. That's the poorest in terms of all the coaches that have coached Manchester United since Sir Alex Ferguson left in 2013. Now, these are the record, and they'll start abject record. Now, let's take a look at the compensation deal. Now, Ruben Amorim's compensation package, it took the total cost for Manchester United to hire and fire him to nearly £27 million. Now, with the Portuguese leaving with what? £10 million payoff. Now, Bimbo, was this what he was looking forward to when he, that outburst at the press conference, I mean, the jabs was everywhere. I mean, firing from everywhere, from the top to the bottom. The way he was talking about the management or the club. Or do you see truth in what he was saying? Or was he just really saying things so that he will be fired and collect these this package?
Well, I'll tell you, this is good money. Everybody will want this, but I don't want to believe the outburst was because of the payout, because of the money they'll make. The guy was overwhelmed, evidently overwhelmed. He took over a rickety team, a team that was sinking. It's been Humpty Dumpty for Manchester United since Sir Alex left. Louis van Gaal, before Louis van Gaal, David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho tried to steady the ship. He ran into trouble with player power and he was booted out. They brought Eric Ten Hag. It's just been Humpty Dumpty, neither here nor there. So the guy took over a rickety team. And don't forget, the American directors didn't really help the club too. So it's been not been good for Manchester United. And the guy took a sinking ship. He ran into problems with the likes of Marcus Rashford and others too. Rashford had to exit. And in this press conference, there's so much a man can take. The pressure from the directors, the pressure from the fans, the pressure from inside of him. Every manager wants to succeed, I want to believe. And the guy didn't sign up for this job to fail, but he was overwhelmed. Everything was just hitting him left, right, and center. And at some point, as human beings, we will have to let out some things. And he did that, and that was his greatest undoing. But then, I want to believe that the directors were already planning to ease him out. And it was a very wonderful excuse to get him off the way. And right now is history. We're expecting this before now. We actually expected this at the end of the last season.
Yes.
Remember the position of Manchester United at the end of last season? Horrible, wasn't it? And don't forget, too, what Cristiano Ronaldo said in that interview with Piers Morgan.
Yes.
Everything is coming to light right now. It's a shame that a once glorious Manchester United is this way right now. Let's see who they will employ at the end of the day. But then, Amorim is, how would I call it now, is a regime to forget for Manchester United and their fans.
It is obviously. But the story is Michael Carrick and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer may just be brought in. We know that Darren Fletcher will just take over the game against Burnley. After that, they're looking into Michael Carrick or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to actually, steady the ship to the end of the season before they get a new manager. Would that be a good idea, or they should just start looking for a manager? And if they are, do we really have any available at the moment that is worth the wait for Manchester United?
It's so simple, Cecilia. Former Manchester United players trying to help their club to be up and running again. The same Solskjaer that was ished out, and Michael Carrick, there was a time. I think there was a time Michael Carrick was the coach of the youth team of Manchester United. And a lot of people felt he could have assisted one of the big guns and at the end of the day, grow into the job. But it wasn't meant to happen. Yeah. So, not a bad decision, because how many coaches do we really have out there right now? The big guys are attached. That's the truth. And except perhaps another big coach is sacked, and Manchester United hops on the bus to get that kind of coach. But then right now it's not looking too good for them. But then they are fifth, if I'm not mistaken, in the league table right now. So let's see what Michael Carrick and Solskjaer will do. Perhaps they'll bring the spirit of the old Manchester United, glory Manchester United, and rally the troops around to make sure that they do well. But even at that, the captain is not happy too, Cecilia. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
It's a sinking ship. We hope it doesn't sink even further down.
Yeah.
He's not happy with the team.
Yeah.
Recovery said that some of the directors actually wanted him out at the end of the last season. They couldn't, because he was still in the good books of Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's been one problem after the other at Manchester United. We hope Carrick and Solskjaer will bring back the spirit of the old United to Old Trafford, and we'll be seeing something new as they take over the reins.
All right, Bimbo Adeola, I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight on Sports Tonight.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. Thanks, guys. It's been wonderful, refreshing being on Sports Tonight on Channels TV.
Thank you. Right, we're going to be leaving you with reactions coming from Manchester United fans after Ruben Amorim was fired from his job. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night's rest.
And from the argument on Friday, we've heard there was an argument on Friday with somebody. He'll be in a swimming pool in Portugal now with his check. Don't feel sorry for him. These young players that keep coming to the club, feel sorry for them. Because time and time again, we're ruining young footballers' careers. Yet when they leave the club, they go to other clubs, they play brilliant. It's not the managers, it's the club, it's rotten.
That they're doing okay, but, draws against, 4-4 draw, and then now a draw against Leeds. Obviously, they want a little bit more out of the players. The manager's usually the first to go.
I don't think it really matters who they get in as manager, because they're walking into the same mess. And I think it's down to the ownership. And as I said, I'm a real supporter, and we've been fortunate enough to have good ownership for about 17 years now. And obviously, we're on a different level to Man United, but we've not had this situation where we're going to go through managers like they are. So I think whoever they get in, whatever happens, it's going to be the same shambles.
I mean, personally, I don't think he was the right appointment in the first place. Having managed in the Portuguese league is not a European elite level, like, say, the Premier League or Serie A or La Liga in Spain. So it's a very difficult job for him.
I think results matter, don't they? And the results wasn't happening, were they? It's been a bad start from the beginning. I think he couldn't cope with the pressure. But good luck to him. But I think he was out of his depth.